That takes us over to the tag team division, in which on the first Impact of the pay-per-view cycle, we had a Team Canada versus America's Most Wanted #1 Contenders match.
Yeah, we're currently doing the story again where AMW aren't on the same page.
Yeah, they're doing it with two teams, but at least the way they're doing it, the idea is they're doing it with two teams.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than wrestling than it's like you're doing the same story with two people at the same time. But at least the thing here is like Trio K don't get along, AMW don't get along, then they have a pay-per-view match of teams that don't get along.
And they kind of blame each other too.
Yeah, so everything's going badly for Trio K, everything's going badly for AMW, so they're like, we'll wrestle each other, goddammit.
And we'll prove who is the worst.
So, good little match between TCAN and AMW.
Yeah, I thought it kind of rocked. It's very much just kind of what you would expect these two to do on TV, but these two teams, like, they are good enough that when they do it on the TV, it lives up to like what you would expect it to be, and they have a pretty good TV match, which is better than most TV matches that you get.
Yeah, I feel like AMW in particular have been like just dreadfully underused in terms of being television wrestlers in this company.
Yeah.
Because I feel that you condense the AMW formula down to like tight, fast-paced, like I think it was about 8-9 minutes, because it was given the 30-minute time limit. I think it went about 8 or 9 with a commercial. You condense the AMW formula down to that kind of like pace, that time period. It's really good and enjoyable. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. And also very clear, again, the Team Canada repush going on here.
Yeah, so they did the promo on Hard Justice about how they're getting back together, they're getting their momentum back. PD and Eric won a match in the opener against Siaki and Apollo, and here it's the Eric Young and PD Williams combination of Team Canada, by the way, defeating AMW to become #1 contenders.
Good stuff.
AMW went for the hard attack, but A1 pulled out Harris. Young and PD hit the sharpshooter elbow they do, which I think is a cool move, but Storm kicked out.
I kind of bid on it, to be honest.
Yeah, Storm super kicked EY. AMW went for the powerplex on PD, but A1 got in the ring, so Harris speared him instead of hitting the powerplex, but that allowed PD to ran a Storm. PD grabbed the ropes and won, and then Storm was like, what the hell, where'd you go?
It's like, I was doing tag team wrestling, man.
Yeah, I was taking out A1. He is very large.
I was taking out Johnny Devine on the outside, and I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Earlier on this show, Killings and BG were backstage. Killings was mad that BG missed the Hard Justice match and also didn't contact him about it.
Is this the first, like, classic Impact cameraman peeking around the corner that we've seen?
Yeah, because it's a thing that the Bischoff regime would make a real thing, that the cameraman is always, like, contextualized within the scene.
See, the thing is, I don't know if I like it or if I dislike it. Sometimes I'm like, I like it. Sometimes I'm like, I think, you know what it is? I like it when they don't overuse it, but they went to a stage where they overused it.
Yeah, because it was the Bischoff regime thing that, like, as I said, at all times, the cameraman was never invisible. Because it's the thing people get mad about, that like the idea that these people would be standing in front of the camera talking about their intricate plans they're going to do, while the camera is just right there, and they just happen to not see it. It's the invisible camera thing. So like the Hogan Bischoff regime, their big thing was that at all times, the camera would be in the scene. So people would address the camera, or if the camera was catching something they shouldn't, it would be shot through like blinds, it would be shot around the corner, it would be shot in a way to show that the people being filmed did not know the camera was there, so that they say, we're going to sneak attack so-and-so.
The problem is, your same logic that you're using can then, like, get reverse engineered, and you're like, stop making your plans in that one hallway. that one hallway always has a cameraman.
And I'm kind of fine with the idea that the camera is just invisible and no one acknowledges it. Because, like, if you do half and half, it makes no sense at all.
I don't know. There's sometimes it really annoys me. Like, in that greatest storyline of all time, the Bloodline, they did that, like, one where, like, Owens was peeking out the door. I'm like, that's so fucking stupid.
Because, like, I think if you do half and half, it makes no sense whatsoever. And that, like, either the camera is never there, like, no one ever acknowledges it, and the camera is an invisible player in the scene, or the camera is always there. But if you do it, like, where it's sometimes they acknowledge the camera and sometimes they don't, it just completely falls apart and then doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
Conan and BG were backstage. Killings was mad because BG missed the Hard Justice match and then didn't send him a text about it, but he did send DDP a text about it, which made him real mad.
Which, to be fair, yes.
Yeah, he's being a bad friend. He's right. He also brought up BG hitting Conan with the guitar. BG says he didn't do this, but Ron's like, it's all on you. It's not the outlaw. This is your behavior.
Yeah. Which is actually, like, some fairly nuanced, like, storytelling?
Like, I don't really mind this angle as it is right now.
It's just the people in it.
It is just the people in it. Like, they did a nice little thing at Hard Justice where BG and the Outlaw worked together without working together, and I thought they did all that real well. But then I have to watch the Outlaw matches, and they stink. He's terrible. He's so bad. Unless he's squashing people where he's, like, somewhat bearable. When he's actually having a wrestling match, he's just terrible here.
Yeah.
May 27th Impact opens with BG James and Ron Killings against AMW, the two teams that aren't quite getting along at the moment wrestling. BG was about to do his catchphrases before Ron grabbed the mic and is like, hell no.
I liked it.
You're not doing your ladies and gentlemen. We're not getting along.
It was good. Good touch.
While AMW were making their entrance, they also showed some footage last week as they kind of bickered as they walked up the ramp. They were like, hey man, what happened here?
Hey, come on, we gotta get on it. We gotta do this right.
So the classic tag team in a slump thing. Storm grabs a chair because they're in a slump and they need to win. Slid the chair into the ring and Harris was like, I don't really know what to do with this. But before he could work out, Truth axe kicked Harris's head onto the chair. 3LK win. And then my favorite thing is like 3LK didn't really celebrate. They're still mad at each other.
Yeah, just because they got a win doesn't mean that they're happy.
Yeah, so AMW are sad they lost. 3LK are still kind of sad they won.
It also makes sense because 3LK aren't a team that are upset with each other because they're losing. They're upset with each other because they're upset with each other personally. AMW is the team that is upset with each other for losing.
Yeah, and they lost here, so they're continue to be upset. Whereas BG and Ron still have problems.
Yeah.
So Truth grabs a mic after the match. Outlaw tries to jump Truth, but BG pushes Truth out of the way and takes the blow. Conan then made the save, and then Killing solicited shoes from the crowd to wail on the Outlaw. That's my favorite thing. So Conan throws a shoe at him, and then Killings is like, I also need a shoe. Crowd? And they throw like 3 at him.
It's like, I'm not going to use my shoe.
No. BG approached as Killings and Conan were beating on the Outlaw and then instinctively pushed him away, so everybody continues to be mad at each other.
Whose side is he on?
That's a good question. Terry Taylor had AMW later in the show. Harris is like real pissed, so it's like, we just lost to 3LK, that's where we start again. We get back up, we face 3LK at the pay-per-view, because they hate each other more than we do, to which Terry just quipped, do they? Which does bring us to the pay-per-view. 2 matches from this story, the first of which is Ron Killings versus the Outlaw.
Yes.
Bad match.
Not good. Not a good match.
Bad match. As I said, the Outlaw's there's just nothing. There's nothing there with it. I don't even think it's a case that, like, he's not trying. I just think there's nothing there.
Yeah, I think he's doing what he's doing.
I don't think there's good matches in this wrestler in 2005.
Yeah.
Like, you put this dude out there against AJ and be like, you got 15 minutes, tear it up. Have the best match you can possibly have. It's still going to be like 2 3/4 stars tops.
Yeah.
So Outlaw hits a Faymaster but doesn't go for the pin. He then goes for the one and only, but Truth reverses into a pin where Outlaw's shoulders are up for literally the whole pin. Both of his shoulders are not down at any stage of Ron Killings pinning him, but the referee counts 3 nonetheless.
Of course.
Because that is the finish, and God forbid they do something that looks good.
The Outlaw's first loss.
Yeah, this is the Outlaw getting pinned for the first time. It's the classic Chris Jericho getting pinned. It's like the you can't show the replay getting pinned. Outlaw jumps Truth after the match, hits the one and only. Outlaw grabs a chair, but BG pulls it out of his hands.
Still a great move.
It is. He hit one on Mikey Bats last month. That's just he hit like 4 on Mikey Bats last month, but all of them ruled. Outlaw grabs a chair. BG pulls it out of his hands. They stare down as the crowd does chant New Age Outlaws. So the crowd does kind of want to see them together.
Well, I can understand it, to be honest. Like, they are an established, popular tag team. The crowd probably is going to start gravitating to wanting to see them.
Also, 3LK aren't exactly a hot, fresh act these days, so it's not like you want to see 3LK over the Outlaws.
Yeah.
So BG had the chair. The Outlaw dared BG to hit him, but he didn't. Then Conan runs into the ring, attacks the Outlaw, and the Outlaw bails.
The New Age Outlaws.
That should be their name. And then the other match I'll based off this on this show is also AMW facing Tree Life Crew again.
How do you feel about this?
It was a worse match, I think, than their TV match, which was not great.
Yeah.
I did appreciate the way they worked this to do the finish, to which, like, they got the heat on BG, and then there was a moment of miscommunication between Harris and Storm, where BG was about to make the hot tag, but then the Outlaw ran out to distract Killings, so Killings was not there for BG to make the tag too, and then AMW hit the heart attack for the win. So, like, it does not make itself particularly conducive to a great match when you just get the heat and don't do a comeback, But it is a decent way to do that finish, even if the match wasn't that long. It was like 7 or 8 minutes, I think. So at least they didn't waste their time.
No, I liked the post-match stuff at least.
Yeah, so because Conan wasn't there to make the tag or the save for BG was really mad. Rudy didn't see the Outlaw at any stage, and I think the story is that neither did BG. So BG's like, why weren't you there? And Conan's like, I was dealing with the Outlaw. And BG's like, I needed you. Then earlier in the show, they had a pre-tape where like, we're all together, we're on the same page, we're the 3 Live crew, we run together 3 deep. They put their fists in for the Shield fist pump.
Yeah, they did the Shield.
They were all together, and Conan here, he offered the fist bump, but BG declined it.
Because he's petty.
He is. And then the third way that spins off, which if you remember ages ago, was in 5 minutes. Team Canada defeated AMW to become number 1 contenders. Then there was a Naturals against David Young and Lex Lovett match on the following Impact.
Yeah, go in depth on that one.
So Don West, in his attempt to make David Young and Lex Lovett seem intimidating, it was just like, they've fair enough, they've lost every one of their matches they've ever had, but like, if you look at their similarities and the fact that they're bald, that makes them really intimidating.
He also said they could be brothers.
They could be. They're both stocky, short, bald men. Lex Lovett learned from his old tag team partner, because the Naturals pinned Lovett with a natural disaster, and then Lovett kicked out right after 3. Lovett's like, I'm not doing a job to the Naturals. But Quatermains was probably worse, because he did it with DDP. But even here, he's like...
Well, that's his old friend.
Oh yeah, we discovered that they had a match on, was it Worldwide or
We discovered that. We saw a tweet from Tape Machine.
Yeah, Tape Machines tweeted an old match between DDP and Buck Quatermain on, it was probably Saturday Night or Worldwide.
I believe so.
And yeah, that means it was like a 10-year rivalry when they had that tag team match on Impact.
See, they're good pals. That's why he was allowed to do the kick out.
Yeah, TDP was like, I get it, dude. You're being squashed all over here. You're a veteran journeyman. You deserve more. Do a little kick out after 3. You've earned it.
As a treat.
Team Canada jumped the Naturals after the match, and then PD dropped Chase with a Canadian Destroyer. So if you'd remember, at the Hard Justice promo, the Naturals, while talking about the death of Chris Candido, also mentioned that a legendary advisor started getting in their ear to teach them things as well. That continues here. They also have a pre-tape at some stage, I think it's on this pay-per-view, where they say the same thing. It's like, oh, we have a legendary manager. And franchise like, who's it going to be?
And then Terry Taylor's like, wait, what are you doing here?
Which does lead us to the Naturals versus Petey Williams and Eric Young for the NWA World Tag Team titles in a pretty good match.
Yeah, it's alright.
Again, it's one of those that's not going to blow your socks off, maybe a small bit long, but these guys work hard and have a pretty good match.
Thumbs up.
They get the heat on Chase for ages. Douglas makes the tag. Petey was going for the Canadian Destroyer on Douglas before Jimmy Hart ran out.
I know you were ecstatic to see Jimmy Hart.
I was absolutely delighted. I did not have flashbacks to that Hulk Hogan feud that never happened. Jimmy Hart threw a megaphone to Andy Douglas, who hit Petey with it to retain the belts. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that they decided to replace Chris Candido with a different manager.
Yeah, and because I don't know, yeah, it does feel a little off.
Like, on the one hand, I kind of get that they might still be of the opinion that the Naturals do need somebody. They are not charismatic enough to stand on their own, so we do need to give them somebody, and Jimmy Hart's a good manager, and he got a big pop when he came out, to be fair. And if you're doing the Naturals babyface turn, Naturals and Jimmy Hart makes some sense.
Also, Jimmy Hart's just there.
Yeah, he's been there hanging around, helping out for months and months now. But at the same time, it's just like, they had Candido, and he died, and now they're just like, new Candido!
And they're doing, like, heel cheating stuff, too.
They're still doing the Candido bits, but Jimmy Hart's like a babyface manager.
I don't know. It's odd.
Like, it's not the final manager the Naturals will get in their TNA run. They'll get another in 06, as they tried desperately to make the Naturals a thing one last time. I don't know. Like, ultimately, it is a lack of charisma that causes them to constantly think they need managers, and they're probably right. They probably do need managers. Doing it so close after the death of Candido, it didn't sit entirely right with me.
No, it is off for sure.
But yeah, Naturals are still your NWA World Tag Team Champions.